But I get playing like a net once.
We got the winner out. Flush. Don't slow roll me.
Greg Raymer is in seat 9. We got some familiar faces.
We're in trouble. We're up against Poker Face. I heard you're an up-and-comer. I want to put you on my channel, give you some exposure.
She shows it!
Pure mayhem here at the lodge. There's Wayne from Doctor's Poker. Say hi to the blog, Wayne. Okay.
Come on, everybody, don't stop.
I'm at Texas Card House Austin playing 125 PLO, and we are currently 6-handed. One player is limped in, and in the hijack I looked at a Queen 10 8-8 suited in spades to my Queen. I call. The button and both blinds come along, and we are going 5 ways to a flop. Is that Mike Matusow on a scooter?
Don't let me get lucky one time!
The flop falls King Jack 9 with 2 spades, giving me the stone cold nuts, as well as a redraw to the second nut flush. When it checks to me, I bet 15. I'd like to get some action here. The button and small blind both call, and we're going 3 ways to a turn.
Not like that. Not like that. Drawing that, no outs.
The turn is the 9 of hearts, pairing the board. The small blind checks, and with the board pairing and facing 2 opponents, I opt to check. The button makes a fairly large wager, putting out 45. I go into the tank, but I eventually settle on a call.
Not like that.
The river falls the 4 of spades, improving me to the second nut flush, but the board is still paired, and hands my opponent could continue with on that flop include the nut flush draw, as well as 2 pairs and sets, or some combo draws. I'm not sure, given my stack size and the remaining size of the pot, I'll be able to get away from this hand. If my opponent flops something like kings and jacks, and decides to turn his hand into a bluff on the river, I don't want to prevent him from doing that by betting myself. And if he happens to have a full house, or the nut flush I'm losing anyway, it is possible if he has the nut flush, he might check it back or bet small, fearing that the board is paired, which could save me some chips. I check, and he only bets 65. I don't like it, but I feel like I'm in too deep. I make the call, and I get the bad news as he turns over king, king, deuce, deuce. Call.
Calls. King's full.
Just king's full. King, king, deuce, deuce.
I decided not to raise that motherfucker with the green with kings in the left.
Keep pricing her up.
Yeah,
Listen.
that's good. That's my brother in the box.
It folds to me, and in middle position, I look down at one of the prettiest hands in the deck, double suited aces. I raise to 15, and the player behind me immediately repots to 50. Music to my ears. While the player who got me with kings full previously has a comment to make.
I don't want to be on the blog.
Pot.
I knew that was coming. 155.
I'm all in.
Call. I go twice, sir.
That's fine.
Okay. Is that Costa Rican superstar Humberto Brenes?
The chart is hot!
The first run out comes Ace King 6-3-3, giving me the nut full house. You love to see it. The second board comes 10-9-3 with 2 diamonds. There's an offsuit 5 on the turn. And the river brings in the queen of diamonds, completing straights and flushes. Unfortunately, my opponent turns over 9-8-7-6 double suited, having rivered his flush on the second board to escape with half. Looking at the equities when the money goes in, I'm in a great spot with a 60% chance to win and 5% to tie, while my opponent only wins 35% of the time. One player is limped in an early position I call as well, holding 8-8-6-5 suited in diamonds to my 8. The same player who went nuts the previous hand with 9-8-7-6 double suited raises to 20. There's one caller, the small blind folds, the big blind and limper call, and I come along as well. The flop is Queen 7-4 rainbow, giving me a nice little wrap. I can hit a 3, 5, 6, or 8 to make the nuts. It checks to me, and this board is not going to favor the preflop raiser, so while I may not be ahead if he has a big pocket pair or if he hit the queen, my wrap gives me a ton of outs, and I bet the pot of 105. If I take it down now without having to make my hand, that's a fine outcome. And if I get played back at, I'm okay with that as well, since my hand has a lot of opportunity to improve. The original raiser thinks for a bit and then calls. The big blind, a solid player, shoves all in, and I rip my last 85 in, so I'm all in for 190 total. The original raiser gets out of the way, which means we've got some nice dead money in the pot.
Twice, Todd?
Yeah.
The other guy folds. I got a big wrap.
I got a pair and a big wrap.
Okay, Jack of Hearts.
Hey.
That's me. Oh, no, that's not me. 9 of clubs and then King of Hearts. King of Hearts, Ace of Hearts.
God damn it. Why did
Pair
I
of
roll
eights.
that? Oh my god.
He had 8 of spades, 6 of
Oh, that
clubs,
hurts.
5 of diamonds,
hurts.
4 of hearts.
Push left is the guy in the hard button.
Thank you, thank you.
What I get for playing like a nut once.
We got the winner out. Thank you, sir.
Queen Jack 4, 10.
KFG Poker Club, with massive bad beat payouts. Poker tournaments with 4, 5, and 6-figure guarantees. And tons of cash games, from micro stakes all the way up to 10-20. Everything from Hold'em to Omaha, 4, 5, and 6 card, high and high-low. Follow the instructions on screen to join today. There's one caller in an early position. I come along holding King Queen 9-8 suited in clubs to my king. The button raises to 25. The small blind and big blind call. The limper calls, and I call, and we are going 5 ways to a flop. Wait a minute, is that the madman Havad Khan? The flop comes down Ace 9-9 Rainbow. I've flopped 3 9s, and I really hope I'm not running into aces full and about to get stacked. It does wind up checked around. The turn is the 3 of hearts. Is that a didgeridoo? That can only mean one thing. Joseph Hatcham is here. Once again, it checks around with the river falling the 9 of hearts, giving me quads. It checks to me and I opt to bet 50. Looking back at this, I think I should be going larger. I want to get value out of an opponent who has pocket kings maybe in this spot and was afraid of the ace on the flop. Regardless, I don't get any takers and I do take this one down. Under the gun, I come in for a raise to 15 holding ace jack 10-4, suited in diamonds to my ace. There's 2 callers, the small blind folds, the big blind calls, and we're going 4 ways to a flop.
These are some of the worst players in the entire world over here.
The flop falls 8-7 deuce, and it's all diamonds, giving me the absolute nuts. When it checks to me, I opt to check as well. Aside from the flush, this board isn't going to hit my typical raising range. I want another player to think they can take this pot away from me or to overvalue a flush that is drawing dead. Unfortunately, the flop gets checked around. Is that WSOP Circuit Ring Crusher and alleged bad guy Maurice Hawkins?
Conning people across America. Like you say, in America.
And of course, the turn falls the deuce of spades. Anyone else feel like that when you have the nut straight or the nut flush, the board just magically pairs on the turn? Well, that's the risk you take slow playing hands in PLO, unfortunately. Once again, I check. Now a player takes the initiative, betting 40. There's one caller in between, and I come along as well.
I'm just guilty. I'm whatever.
All right, the river falls the 8 of clubs, double pairing the board. It makes the possibility of one of my opponents having a full house more realistic than the deuce pairing. Fortunately, it's still checked around.
Flush. Don't slow roll me. Max value. I'm like, why are you pairing the board? No.
Under the gun raises to 15, and there's 2 callers. In the small blind, I look down at Queen 10, 9-8 suited in hearts to my 9. I make the call. The big blind calls as well, and we are going 6 ways to a flop. Is that Gen Z thirst trap Abby Poker?
In case the hot dog didn't give it away.
The flop falls Queen Queen 7 with 2 diamonds, giving me 3 queens. Unfortunately, it's checked around, with the turn falling the 4 of spades. It always sucks trying to play a hand like this out of position against multiple opponents, but I can't allow someone to river a flush or a straight on me without charging them. I lead for 40, and they all fold.
Respect. And bump on top.
We're playing an 8-handed double board bomb pot. On the button, I've been dealt the extremely awful looking 9-5-3 deuce, suited in spades to my 5. What an absolute piece of cheese. If I can get any part of this bomb pot, it'll be a miracle. The flops fall 5-4-3 rainbow and king 6-3 rainbow. I flop top 2 pair and an open-ended straight draw up top, and on the bottom I've got bottom pair and a gut shot. Fortunately, I'm on the button instead of out of position this time, and when it checks to me, I opt to take the betting lead, putting out 50. Only one player calls. The turns are the 4 and 10 of diamonds, counterfeiting my 2 pair and not improving me on the bottom board. We both check it back. The rivers come the ace of spades and the king of diamonds. Now my opponent pots for 180. I've made my straight on the top board, although that board is paired, and on the bottom board all I have is kings and threes. I could be beat on both boards, but since I bet the flop and I check the turn, my opponent could either be just trying to buy the pot or trying to turn what he expects to be a chop into a scoop for him. I go into the tank and then start talking to my opponent to try to get a read.
If I show, will you fold? If I show, will you fold?
I like asking this question reversed because it causes your opponents to pause and think about what they were just asked. When they respond, if their response appears forced, unnatural, disingenuous, generally I find they aren't comfortable with the situation, and that allows me to make some lighter calls. If, however, the reverse is true, they respond relaxed, comfortable in their response, I can find tougher folds in those spots. This time I opt to make the call, and unfortunately I forgot to make a note of what his actual hand was, but from the dialogue that we had in the video that you're not hearing right now, he did have a pair of 6s in the hole and a 10. So he was bluffing, but he still manages to escape with half the pot.
I was like, it's going to be hard for him to have me on both boards. Thank you, sir.
The $10 straddle is on. It folds to us on the button. I looked out at ace, 7, 6, 5, double suited in clubs and diamonds. I have to come in for a raise to 35, and they all give it up. All right, so this one was a not a great start to the session, flopping the nuts, and then the board pairing the 9, which was harder to put my opponent on. Having the full house there, and unfortunately paid him off. But we recovered, and I love Texas Card House in Austin. It's a beautiful room, absolutely stunning, the nicest, aesthetically pleasing room in the entire market. Comfortable chairs. Wish they would go a little bit lower to the floor because I'm like 5'1", so my feet dangle a little bit even on the lowest setting. The Lodge's replacement chairs are a little bit better for that, but the chairs otherwise are comfortable. The staff is top notch, from floor supervisors to dealers to cage and front desk, just tremendous. The food service, the food is really good. And it's reasonably priced, which is nice. I don't play there as much just because the games tend to be a lot tighter as far as action goes, a lot nittier. And so, I tend to play more at the Lodge because the action players tend to be there. Now, granted, of course, I'm still not a fan of all these unlimited straddles and match stack, but got to go typically where I can try to win the money. This week, I am actually heading on Wednesday. Let me double check the date here. I think it's the 16th. Yeah, Wednesday the 16th through, Friday the 18th. I will be playing out in the Dallas market. TCH Las Colinas, checking it out for the first time. I've seen pictures. Looks, again, like a beautiful room. Looks like a legit casino poker room, really well crafted. And they had like 7 PLO games running on a Tuesday in the middle of summer while the World Series of Poker was going on. 7 PLO games going on a Tuesday, which is just crazy. And they've got a 2-2 PLO and a 2-5 PLO that have capped buy-ins instead of match the stack, which is nice because if you're having a good session, you don't have to worry about Klaus from Germany showing up, plunking down $5,000 and then getting you in one hand. And they limit it to 1 under the gun straddle only. So it's not, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, 320. So, I'm a bigger fan of that. I'm hoping that the games are going to be good. I'm going to have a good experience. And maybe, within the next year, we'll look to relocate there. So if you're going to be out there Wednesday through Friday and you see me, come say hi. I will be vlogging, so if you want to make the channel, that's cool too. Whether you're playing at my table or you just want me to, put you in the video, saying hi or something, that's cool. If you have any shout outs. And yeah, that's it, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and we will see you in the next one.
We getting